practice every day. But how long every day? And I said, you should practice until one of your parents says, that's enough. Put that stinking thing away. And that usually takes a little while. But that's as long as you should practice. Every day you should have your instrument out. I keep my instrument hanging on the wall of my house so that as I walk by it, I can just reach out and pick it up when I have 2 or 3 minutes and just play something. Play the hardest thing on your lesson. Don't go over the easy parts. Don't waste your time doing that. Work on the hard parts. And then just hang it back up on the wall. And then the next time you walk by it, pick it off the wall, run over that hard part again. And next thing you know, you've made your instrument part of the way you do life. And that will be a great, great positive thing in making you develop quickly and strongly on your instrument. There's another danger that you can fall into, besides not practicing enough, and that is practicing too much. Now, what I mean by that is you're going to do a recital or you're going to do a program, and so you get the song that you're going to do in that program, you work on it, you work on it, you work on it, until you have it really, really good. And then you perform it, and then after you perform it, it's time to move on to other things, but you've gotten so good on that piece, you just can't stop playing it. And so you play it over and over and over and over and over, and people get really tired of hearing it. Well, this is not something new. Mr. Paul, I learned, was stuck in a rut when he was a little kid too. And the song that he had learned was Three Blind Mice. I'm going to let him tell you the story.
I want to tell you how this came about. Mr. Heller put this program together and he gave it to me. He said, "That look good?" I said, "Oh yeah, it looks good." And then he said, "You notice the part where I told you to play Three Blind Mice?" And oh man, so I want to tell you this story because somehow Mr. Heller heard this story. And it is applicable to today. But a long time ago, I used to live in a town, a really, really small town in the middle of Ohio. Okay? The town was so small that you could stand at one side of the town and throw a rock and hit the other side of the town, and you'd be clear. It was that small. It was so small that there was only one pianist in the entire town. And one day my mom said that I should take piano lessons. So I went to my first piano lesson and I played my very first song. Excited. I went home and I showed my mom, I showed my dad. I was so excited that I had learned my very, very first song on the piano. And I practiced for hours and hours and hours. And my mom never told me to stop. So I just kept going and going and going. Until the next week, I went to my piano teacher's house to take my second lesson. And sadly, after I rang the doorbell, my teacher's husband answered the door. And he said that my teacher had suddenly passed away just the day before. And I was very sad, but he asked me if I would play for her funeral, which was the next day. And I said, "Well, sir, see, I only know one song, and that's all I can do." And he said, "That's all right. You were her only student, and now the only pianist in the whole town. So I'm going to need you." So I went home and I practiced as hard as I could for hours and hours that day. And I got to the funeral the next day and I was asked to play my song. So I had to play the only song that I knew. who had just gotten engaged. And they said, "Hey, Paul, we are getting married in a couple months and we need a pianist." I said, "Hey, I'd love to, but I only know one song." They said, "That's all right, don't worry about it. You're the only pianist in the whole town, so we're going to need you to play for our wedding." So I said, "Okay," but I went home and I practiced for hours and hours and hours on that one song that I knew. And when it came time for the wedding, I got there and I was asked to play. So I had to play the only song that I knew. Well, after the wedding, my high school principal came up to me. A little bit of time had passed, and I've been practicing every day for hours and hours, and graduation was coming up. And my principal asked me, "Paul, I need you to play piano. Would you do it for me at the graduation?" I said, "Principal, you don't understand. I only know one song." And he said, "That's all right. You're the only pianist in the town. We need you to play for us." So I went home and I practiced as hard as I could on that one song. And when the graduation came, I was asked to play, so I played the only song that I knew. Pennsylvania. I went to college. I got a degree in music. I didn't learn much more in music other than that one song, but still, I practiced as hard as I possibly could on that one song, day after day, hours and hours and hours, as hard as I possibly could on that one song. Well, I became a teacher. I still only know one song, and I had a recital, and the other teacher, as part of the recital, asked me to play a song to show off to all my students. So after hours and hours and days of practicing, I would like to play for you the one song that I know. The talent that you've been given, and it's not the skill that teachers can give to you that makes you a good musician. It's the time that you put into it every day so that you develop what has been already given to you. It's the moral of the story. So thanks for letting me share with you the story of the only